pulled off on Saturday in the Royals. Unbelievable stuff. Joining us now to talk about that comeback win is the BYU baseball coach, Mike Littlewood. Coach, first and foremost, congratulations on one of the more remarkable late-inning victories that I've ever seen in college baseball.
Well, thank you. It was unbelievable. It really was. We were just talking. It was with one out. We get Clough on with to lead us off, who was a pinch hitter, did a great job. I mean, a freshman coming in that situation against their closer, submarine guy, 89-91, just to have the moxie to get in there and get on base for us somehow, and every guy just to get it done. It was pretty unbelievable. With everything at stake, I mean, I've had comebacks before, but not to this magnitude, with first place on the line, a berth to the tournament on the line, RPI, head-to-head, like tiebreaker. I mean, everything was on the line, and I was really empathetic for Gonzaga to some degree because they beat us for 8.5 innings. But we'll take the win, no doubt about that.
Yeah, it's not like you were down 1-0, 2-0, even 3-0. You're down 4-0. So what are your emotions going into that inning?
Anger. I just wasn't really happy with the way we played. We were down 1-0 for like 6 innings, but it felt like it was 10-0. We get a guy on third base, and Chauncey strikes out, which he doesn't do a whole lot early in the game, and then Shaver does the same thing in the middle innings when he could have tied it up. And he never does that. They always come through. So there's a sense of frustration, but there's so many lessons to be learned by this. Persevere, plug away, grind it out, all those catchphrases that we use. And you never know. That's why you play 9 innings, and I'm sure glad baseball's 9 and not 7.
I thought one of the more spectacular plays I saw during that comeback was the slide by Nate Favero to tie the game up at 4 apiece. What are you thinking when you're telling him to round the base and try and tie this game up with 1 out?
I'm thinking I'm hoping he's safe so I don't look like a total idiot. But my thought was if he gets thrown out, we still have the tying run on third, and maybe the go-ahead on second, although our runner didn't go. And the one thing after looking at the video, I'm thinking, man, Nate, your legs are like 5 feet long. Slide, feet first and get your legs in there. But it was a great slide after looking at it. I think it's probably the only slide that it gave the umpire a great view of just the hand and the glove coming. I think that was the only way he would have been safe. And their left fielder on Thursday night, he couldn't throw. I mean, he couldn't throw the ball from left field because he had a big bandage on his finger, and he got better. He threw Hayden out on Friday night and made 2 good throws. And we were just crossing our fingers that his finger was still hurting. It wasn't hurt that bad because that was a pretty darn good throw.
How did your emotions change as you saw that maybe a comeback was possible?
Well, I don't show too many emotions. In fact, we had an older guy, 81 years old, who graduated, I think, that was out throwing out the first pitch the other day, and he goes, "Oh, are you Coach Littlewood?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "You need to smile more." I'm like, okay. So, I think we teach even keel. We just preach, be even keel, and that's what we try to do. But inside, you're like, oh, man, we're a hit away. We're another base runner away. And when you get a guy on, when Yuri got the hit, it's like, we can do this. And then you get that hope up that where the disappointment would be even worse now if you lose, because you're going in 4-0. You're almost thinking, it's going to take a miracle, which happened. But when you get a couple of guys on and it's 4-2, you're like, if we don't win now, it's going to be really, really disappointing.
I said last week that I really felt like BYU needed to win this series because you lost the series to St. Mary's, you lost the series to Creighton at home, just to kind of flip the script, turn the page, get confidence back. And I said that I thought you needed to win this series to get the mojo you needed to win the regular season conference championship. Do you agree with what I said? I know mathematically speaking, like, you're not out of it, but
yeah,
the mojo that you picked up from that is amazing.
I totally agree with you. And we knew coming into this series that it was a huge series. We didn't shy away from that, just like we don't shy away from Utah as a big game, and Utah Valley's always a big game for us. We faced it head on, and after we beat them up on Thursday, they kind of took it to us on Friday. And honestly, with our mindset and our pitching staff right now, everybody thinks that, the pitchers didn't step up. Our pitchers really did step up. We held a really good hitting team to 4 runs.
They were good on Saturday.
And they gave us a chance to win. If that's 6, 7, 8 runs, we're not going to score 6, 7, 8 runs in the 9th inning. Maybe 1 in a million times. And so our pitchers actually did a nice job. We pieced it together. Riley Gates, a couple. Mason Marshall, a couple. Bo Burrup, a couple. Jordan Wood, a couple outs. We did what we needed to do to win that game, and so that's what we're going to have to do the rest of the way.
What role did Maverick Bufffo's rally caps have in this?
It was the difference. Clearly, it was a difference. I mean, I told him, even though he's hurt, he may travel if we have a spot, just in case we're behind in the ninth. Yeah, so you remember him last year doing that, and against Pepperdine.
Describe what we're talking about for the radio audience here.
Well, you got three idiots in there trying to stack some hats on a guy. So.
He's got like 20 hats on his head.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's one of the weird things about baseball. You can't do that in football and basketball. I mean, they throw you out of there. Yeah, so
he's found use despite being injured.
I don't know how many, but that's pretty impressive. That might be more impressive than the win right there. How many he could put on his head?
Have we checked? That's quite a statement you just made. Have we checked about the world record for caps?
That's got to be close.
Stacked on a head.
It has to be close.
Maverick Buffo, you have a new ambition in life. We're giving it to you if you haven't thought about it right now. What's the response like from your family and from your wife when you go home after a game like that? What do you just need to I need to take like a 3-hour nap? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, played with grandkids because they were there. I mean, it really, I feel like the more mature I get as a coach, I can separate a little bit more. And I mean, I remember when I was coaching at Alta High School when I first started, I was 26 years old, and I mean, I would carry a loss for weeks and weeks and weeks. A loss at least until the next game. And I've learned that it's not life or death. It's close, but it's not total life or death. And I think my wife said, finally, the guys played well, or something like that. She's got no sympathy for us at all. Hey, let's get a W. That's what we need. Yeah. Nothing else matters. Yeah. So.
Upton number 39 in the RPI, leading the West Coast Conference, tied with St. Mary's right now for the lead. How do you feel about where you're at since you got your 30th win before you even got to May?
Yeah, obviously we feel great about where we're at. It feels like we're kind of, limping in a little bit, like the marathon runner who has a sprained ankle, has about 5-6 more miles to go. I mean, that's kind of what it feels like. Hopefully we get Connor Williams back. He has an MRI today, and if he's clear, then he'll get back just to chew up some innings like that. But, it's hard to tell RPI where you're going to get an at-large bid or not. I just don't know. I think not even the people on the committee really know what that's like until they get in the room and they look at everything. But I sure think we built a pretty darn good resume for ourselves, and we want to win the league, win the tournament. That's still our goal. We don't want to have to rely on somebody else to put us in the tournament as an at-large bid.
I know not every team has played the same number of games. Some have played 21. In BYU's case, you've played 18 conference games, but there are 7 teams in the West Coast Conference that have double-figure wins.
Yeah, it's tight.
And so you have 12, and you are tied for the lead right now, but San Diego's in 7th, and they've got 10 victories. What does that say to the overall, skill level of the West Coast Conference in baseball this year?
Well, our conference is up for sure. There's no doubt about it. I think as an overall conference, we're probably you look at the Big West, they're pretty good too with Fullerton, Fullerton, Santa Barbara, and those teams are pretty good. But if you put us up against the pack, I think we're probably just as good, if not a little bit better overall as the pack. And I just feel like there's so much parity in our league. San Diego only has 6 games. They've got 10 wins, 6 games to play. We have 9 games to play, and we're sitting pretty decent where we're at right now with 12 wins. And so I think 16 is the magical number to get you in no matter what, possibly 15 depending on who it is. But we've got 2 tough road trips with Pepperdine and San Francisco. San Francisco didn't play well at the first of the year, but they're playing great baseball right now. Took St. Mary's, 3 games. They beat them once and played them really, really well the other 2 games.
Home to Utah Valley tomorrow night on BYUtv, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Pepperdine, a big series there. I noticed over the weekend you guys tried to remember Riley Gates' sister, Kennedy. You want to tell us about her? Well,
Thursday I get a call in the afternoon from Riley, and he's kind of broken up and says he needs to talk to me. And his sister, some tests didn't go well, so they rushed her up to Primary Children's Hospital. And Thursday she was diagnosed with leukemia. And fortunately, she's 10 years old. It's a treatable type of cancer, but she will have to undergo chemotherapy for 6 to 8 months. And the whole team's going to get wristbands. They'll be here tomorrow, just to show her that team loves her, supports her. Somebody's thinking about her, and it's going to be tough. She'll be out of school for that time, and we're just thinking a lot about the family. And I know Sue Gates, Riley's mom, has got to be devastated right now, and we want them to know that we support them and do everything we can, just in a show of support by wearing the bracelets, but our thoughts and prayers are definitely with the Gates family.
Did that win on Saturday carry an added measure of significance because of what was going on with the Gates family and the fact that Riley started that game?
I think so. I mean, you look at just everybody had her initials on our hats, and which is they're going to be there the rest of the season. Don't have any more hats to give out, so they'll it's going to be with us. It's when you're part of a program like this, and we're with these guys. These guys are together, 5-6 hours a day for 8 or 9 months. I mean, it's truly a family. When something like this happens, it affects everybody, not just that kid. And so it really is a family atmosphere, and we feel just like we would about one of our own kids, one of our own siblings.
We talked to you last week about Mike Rucker and the big game with Gonzaga, and they were Bush last year in the dugout. He gets the big win. How good is Mike Rucker right now? I mean, like nationally, and you made some comments like you don't expect him to be back next year, which he's so good he's going to be drafted probably in the first 10 rounds. You think?
Oh yeah, first 10 rounds. I think 3rd to 5th round.
Wow.
And I would think maybe a little bit sooner. There's 30 teams. It only takes one team to really like you at a high level, and so I think that if somebody likes him in the 2nd round, they could do that. I look at all the the top pitchers in the country who are just lists of projected draft, and I don't understand why Mike's not a little bit higher. Might be for a number of different reasons. One might be the West Coast Conference doesn't get this year the credit it deserves, I believe. But man, he's 93, he hit 95 half dozen 10 times. I think he's clearly a 3rd to 5th rounder, and I think he's a kid you could send a AA right now, and he'd be really effective.
What did that win mean to Mike Rucker? Because he sent out a tweet that said, "Hey, the grass is greener on the other side."
Yeah.
Did you have a conversation with him about that and what that win meant?
I didn't. No. It wouldn't help at all if I had a conversation with Mike about that, because he'd just be the same. Oh, it felt good. Yeah. It felt kind of like the Niagara win. I mean, that's just the way he is, and it's what makes him special. It really does. I mean, you just never know where he's at, and he could face the biggest game of his life, and he's going to be the same as an inter-squad game. It really is what makes him special.
Saw something really funny on Thursday night when he got himself out of a jam in the 1st inning. He walked out the field and he yawned.
Yeah.
What? I was like,
somebody else said
what?
that to me. Yeah.
Is that just quintessential Mike Rucker?
Yeah, and he might have been doing it on purpose, and he might not have. I don't know. I've never been able to figure Mike out, and that's probably a good thing.
We noticed on your Twitter profile that you changed the text to this. It's @YBaseballCoach. So at the time we noticed this, you had 1,467 followers. Okay, methodically working my way to 1 million followers. You're currently up to 1,554. So
nice.
we sent out a tweet.
15,000?
Yeah, exactly. we sent out a tweet to try and bump you up there. You're almost plus 100.
Let's get Mike up to 2,000 people.
Let's do it.
Let's get Mike to 2,000.
Hey, I got to give props to Greg Wrubell, because about 4 months ago he said let's get him going. I mean, it was like 300 just like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know why people even care what I say, and that they obviously we prove that they don't, because we have to talk him into following me. But anyway, I retweet a lot of cool stuff.
@YBaseballCoach. Okay, follow him on Twitter.
Follow @YBaseball. Let's get him to 2,000.
You're gonna have to be a major league manager
to 1 million.
to get 1 million.
Yeah, probably.
You got to get to 2,000
and
before
win
you
the
get to
World
1 million.
Series. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so we've had our research team behind the scenes working on
They're
some
really good. There's about 20 of them.
really important stuff about hat stacking and the world record that's involved there. Nathaniel Thomas Holman wore 35 hats at one time. He sported 23 baseball caps, 7 wool hats, 2 English-style cloth caps, 2 sombreros, and 1 ski mask.
And a partridge and a pear tree.
You shouldn't even count
35.
the knit caps and the ski masks. You shouldn't even count that.
on.
That doesn't even.
That was in 09 in Illinois.
The world record attempt was performed on June 28th, 09 in Glendale Heights, Illinois. Colin Holman was present as a witness. So Maverick Buffalo needs to do this, and Mike Littlewood needs to be the witness of this.
Oh, easy. We can do it. I know we can do it.
There were 19, we're told.
I was trying to
for
count
Maverick
them,
Buffalo.
but I kept losing count.
Mav had 19.
So we can get 5 more on there.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We could double that. Easy.
Let's go. Hey, NCAA Regional and the hat record. Those are the goals.
Let's go BYU baseball. Coach, congratulations again on a remarkable, memorable victory on Saturday, and good luck against Utah Valley tomorrow.
Thanks. Appreciate you having me on.
Mike Littlewood in Studio B. Our Twitter question today, back to football. Which NFL quarterback do you